Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Insider Report. Here we talk about characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe on and off screen. I'm your host, Andrew Lawler, aka Barry. Let's get on with the show. After being brought to Earth on a space shuttle by astronaut John Jameson as part of an invasion force of symbiotic life forms led by Riot, Venom and his team are captured by the Life Foundation, who bring them to San Francisco to begin a series of human trials in an attempt to achieve symbiosis and bind them to living beings, while Riot himself is stranded in Malaysia. 6 months later, Venom is freed by an oblivious Eddie Brock as he attempts to free Maria, a homeless acquaintance of his whom Venom has been bound to. Transferring to Eddie's body, leaving Maria dead, Venom escapes the facility, while his two brethren die. As he begins to hear Venom's voice, Eddie reaches out to his ex-fiancée Anne Weying and her new boyfriend Dr. Dan Lewis for help, and Lewis discovers the symbiote on examining Eddie. After Eddie is attacked by Life Foundation mercenaries to retrieve the symbiote, Venom manifests around his body as a monstrous creature that fights off the attackers and formally introduces himself to Eddie, declaring that I am Venom and you were mine. After explaining their origins to Eddie, Venom assists him in breaking into his old workplace in order to turn in evidence of Life Foundation CEO Carlton Drake's numerous crimes, marveling at the cityscape of San Francisco after climbing atop a skyscraper. Subsequently, surrounded by SWAT officers alerted to the break-in, Venom and Eddie are forced to fight to escape. Witnessed by Anne, who uses an MRI machine to separate Eddie from Venom, Dan having concluded that Venom's presence in Eddie's body is killing him. Venom subsequently explains that he would require sustenance from elsewhere to maintain a host, and it was the Life Foundation's decision not to feed him that led to his previous host's deaths. After Eddie is captured by Drake, now bonded to Riot, having found his way into the country through several hosts, who is in search of Venom, Anne bonds with Venom herself to free Eddie, who returns to Eddie's body by lifting him up and kissing him. Admitting that he is seen as a loser like Eddie on his home planet, Venom decides to abandon the symbiote's invasion and prevent Drake and Riot from using a rocket to return to the comet their species came from to acquire reinforcements, instead causing it to explode and kill them, with Venom apparently sacrificing himself to save Eddie. After the incident, Eddie returns to journalism, still secretly bound to Venom without Anne's knowledge, setting out to protect San Francisco by killing criminals. Confronting a criminal who had been extorting local convenience store owner Mrs. Chen, the duo devours him, declaring that we are Venom. One year later, after Eddie visits incarcerated serial killer Cletus Cassidy to interview him, Venom can figure out where Cassidy has hidden the bodies of victims, which gives Eddie a huge career boost. After Cassidy subsequently invites Eddie to attend his execution by lethal injection, Venom is provoked to attack Cassidy via insults towards Eddie. After briefly witnessing Venom's true form, Cassidy bites Eddie's hand, unknowingly ingesting a small part of Venom as they reproduce. Eddie is then contacted by Anne, who tells him that she is now engaged to Dan, much to Venom's displeasure. Wanting more freedom to eat human brains instead of chicken brains, Venom has an argument with Eddie, and the two end up fighting until the symbiote detaches from his body. They go their different ways. Venom makes his way through San Francisco by hopping from body to body and attending a rave until Anne finds him at Mrs. Chen's store and convinces him to forgive Eddie. She bonds with Venom herself to break Eddie out of a police station after he is arrested on suspicion of aiding in Cassidy's escape from prison, as the symbiote piece he had ingested metamorphoses into Venom's offspring, Carnage. Making amends, Venom and Eddie bond again, arriving at a cathedral with Dan where Cassidy and his lover Francis Barrison plan to get married. After Barrison and Cassidy take Anne and Officer Mulligan hostage, Venom is shocked to see Carnage envelop Cassidy and address them as father, seeking to eat them, refusing to fight until Eddie promises to let him eat everybody. Venom begins to fight Carnage but is quickly overpowered, and the latter decides to kill Anne atop the cathedral. Venom manages to rescue Anne in time and provokes Barrison to use her sonic blast powers, causing both symbiotes to separate from their hosts as the cathedral collapses and the falling bell kills Barrison. Venom saves Eddie by bonding with him before the impact. Carnage tries to bond with Cassidy again, but Venom devours him before biting Cassidy's head off and escapes with Brock from the police, bidding farewell to Anne and Dan, and takes a tropical vacation with Brock. Later, as Venom tells Brock about the symbiote's hive mind knowledge across universes, a blinding light transports the pair to an alternate reality where they watch J. Jonah Jameson expose Spider-Man's identity as Peter Parker and as a murderer on television. After leaving the hotel, Venom and Brock go to a bar and learn about the new universe and individuals such as Tony Stark, Bruce Banner, Thanos, and a major event known as the Blip. As Brock decides to go to New York and find Spider-Man, he and Venom are returned to their universe, while unknowingly leaving a piece of the Venom symbiote behind, which slowly starts moving. Before we conclude, I would like to give you a quick reminder that I have a mini-series out called What Is. It talks about different artifacts and magical items found in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. There are 6 episodes total, and 1 episode will be released every Friday morning. I will leave the playlist at the end of the video, so be sure to check it out if you haven't already. Alright everyone, that will be all for today's show. I hope you learned something new today and enjoyed learning more about the Marvel Universe. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Make sure to stick around to the end to see some upcoming episodes or the previous ones in case you missed them. I'm Barry, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.